away, and we'll be locked in the whole way through. Here are the first round matchups: Liberty versus the Dream, Lynx versus the Mercury, Sun Fever in the 4-5 matchup, the Aces versus the Storm. But how about the Fever?
I feel like it's a great accomplishment, but like there's so much more left to be done. Like, yeah, we made the playoffs. There's 6 regular season games.
Yeah, they're a very dangerous team coming into this postseason. You know, they always tell you that the team that you want to watch out for are the teams that get hot at the right time.
Did you hear what ESPN just said about the Indiana Fever? They're giving them no chance against the Sun. But here's the thing, Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark have other plans. These two are about to show everyone why you can't count out the underdogs. Guys, ESPN is really sleeping on the Fever. They're saying the Sun will crush them in a quick series. Can you believe that? It's like they forgot all about the Fever's incredible comeback this season. Let's talk about how far the Fever have come. They just made the playoffs for the first time since 2016. That's 7 long years of waiting. And get this, they started the season 1-8. Everyone thought they were done, but nope, they turned it around and finished 20-20. That's insane. But here's the thing, ESPN might be in for a big surprise.
First time they've tasted the playoffs since 2016, but don't think for a second they're just content to be in the postseason.
And this Indiana Fever team has most certainly gotten hot at the right time. They figured out how to gel with each other, the chemistry that they've built, the backcourt between Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, who Mitchell is really coming in to this season.
The Fever aren't just happy to be in the playoffs. They're here to win. And I'm about to break down why Mitchell, Clark, and the rest of the team are ready to prove everyone wrong. You think making the playoffs was impressive? That's just the warm-up. There's a secret weapon the Fever have been hiding in plain sight. It's not just one player. It's a combination that's about to turn heads and change game. I'm talking about the Mitchell-Clark duo, and they're ready to set the playoffs on fire. Let's break it down. Kelsey Mitchell is a scoring machine, averaging 19.6 points per game. She's leading the Fever in points, and she's not slowing down. But that's not even the crazy part. In her last 7 games, Mitchell's been averaging 28.3 points. That's the second best in the league, right behind Aja Wilson. Talk about heating up at the right time. Now let's add Caitlin Clark to the mix. This rookie is already making waves, leading the entire WNBA in assists with 8.4 per game. That's not just good, that's phenomenal. Clark's vision on the court is next level, and she's finding ways to set up her teammates for success. But here's where it gets really exciting. When you combine Mitchell's scoring ability with Clark's playmaking skills, you get a duo that's nearly unstoppable. It's like having a flamethrower and a laser-guided missile on the same team. Mitchell's burning up the scoreboard while Clark's precision passing is cutting through defenses like a hot knife through butter. You know what's even better? These two know exactly how good they are together.
Yeah, Kelsey's good. Just when she went down, I stroked out a little bit, and so just made the decision right then. She's just gonna get ready for Sunday. They did a great job. I'm really proud of our great team. I mean, we compete every day. They compete in every drill against the blue team. That second and third quarter, 30 points, just way too many. Resiliency that our players showed, you know, starting 1-8, and then to have clinched a playoff spot with 7 games remaining.
Mitchell said, "I think me and Caitlin, as well as our group, I think we just found a way. That's not just confidence, that's chemistry." And Clark, she's all in on this dynamic duo. She said, "I think Kelsey has been playing really good basketball. She only makes my life easier when you have that 1-2 combo in the backcourt." Now, imagine you're the Sun trying to defend against this. You've got Mitchell who can score from anywhere on the court, and just when you think you've got her contained, here comes Clark with a no-look pass to another open teammate. It's like trying to plug holes in a dam that's about to burst. This Mitchell-Clark combo isn't just good, it's playoff-changing good. They've got the potential to upset higher-seeded teams and make a deep run in the playoffs. And that's exactly what the Fever need to prove ESPN wrong.
The hottest team in the WNBA right now is the Indiana Fever. Kelsey Mitchell has been balling. Lexie Hall has been an X factor, and that was a great chess move, just getting this lineup with chemistry. As for this win streak, though, Caitlin has created 224 points between points scored herself and points assisted. That's almost 45 points per game, and the most by any player ever during a a 5-game win.
Think about it. The Fever started the season 1-8. Everyone wrote them off. But now, they're in the playoffs with a 20-20 record and a backcourt that's hotter than a summer day in Indiana. That's the kind of turnaround stories that make sports so exciting. Okay, so the Fever can score, but there's one big problem that could make or break their playoff run. We've been hyping up Mitchell and Clark's offensive fireworks, but let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Fever's defense. Or should I say, lack thereof. Here's the deal. The Fever finished the regular season ranked 11th in defensive rating. That's not just bad, it's nearly rock bottom. Imagine trying to win a championship with a defense that's about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. It's not pretty. Think about this. In their last game against the Washington Mystics, the Fever allowed 48 points in just the second and third quarters. That's like leaving the back door wide open and inviting the other team to help themselves to the fridge. Head coach Christy Sides has been preaching defense all season, but it seems like the message isn't quite sticking. Now, imagine this. The Fever are facing the Sun, a team known for their strong defense. It's like trying to break through a brick wall while your own house is made of paper. The Sun are going to come at them hard, and if the Fever can't step up their defensive game, it could be a short playoff run. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite their defensive woes, the Fever have shown they can turn things around when it matters. In that same game against the Mystics, they nearly erased a 15-point deficit in the closing minutes. It's like they flipped a switch and suddenly remembered how to play. Kelsey Mitchell said it best. "I know what the bottom feels like, and I don't want to be there no more." That's the kind of fire the Fever need to bring to their defensive game. They've tasted success now, and they're hungry for more. So, what's the game plan? Well, it's pretty simple. If you can't stop them, outscore them. The Fever's strategy might just be to crank up their offense to 11 and hope it's enough to keep the Sun on their heels. It's risky, but with Mitchell and Clark leading the charge, it's not impossible.
She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month since the award's inception in 2010, and last night it was no exception. They were sky high for Caitlin Clark and the Fever, but to start the season, they had a little bit of a rough go of it. They lost their first 5 games. They ended up 1-8 through their first 9 games, and during that first month, the playoffs, they didn't feel realistic at all. Indy entered the Olympic break 11-15 on the year, and then they really turned it around. They've won 7 of their 8 since. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, which, by the way, was the last year of Hall of Famer and franchise icon Tamika Catchings.
Sure, defense wins championships, but you know what else does? An offense so explosive it keeps the other team running scared. And that's exactly what Mitchell and Clark bring to the table. If they can get hot and stay hot, they might just be able to mask their defensive shortcomings. You know what's crazy? Mitchell and Clark are lighting it up, sure. But have you noticed the other 2 players quietly dominating the court? While everyone's eyes are on the flashy guards, there's a pair of forwards ready to steal the show. And trust me, they're about to make some serious noise. Let's talk about Aaliyah Boston and Nalissa Smith. These 2 are the secret sauce in the Fever's recipe for success. They're not just fillers, they're game changers. And if the Sun thinks they've got the Fever all figured out, they're in for a rude awakening. First up, Aaliyah Boston. This rookie sensation isn't just good, she's all-star good. That's right, in her first year, she's already mixing it up with the best of the best. Boston's been a key piece in the Fever's turnaround this season. She's not just putting up numbers, she's changing the entire vibe of the team. And then there's Nalissa Smith. She's been flying under the radar, but don't sleep on her. Smith's been putting up 11.1 points per game this season. That might not sound like much, but it's exactly what the Fever need. She's that consistent force in the front court that keeps defenses honest. You want to know what's even crazier? The Fever just went on a 6-game winning streak. 6 games! That's not just luck, that's a team firing on all cylinders. And you better believe Boston and Smith were right in the thick of it. Here's the thing about Boston. She's not just talented, she's smart. She's got that basketball IQ that makes coaches drool. When she's on the court, it's like having another coach out there. She sees plays develop before they happen, and she's always in the right spot at the right time. And Smith, she's a matchup nightmare. She's got the size to bang down low, but she's quick enough to step out and hit jumpers. Defenses don't know whether to play her tight or give her space, and when they're busy trying to figure her out, that's when Mitchell and Clark strike. Think about it. You've got Mitchell torching defenses from the perimeter, Clark's dishing out assists like they're going out of style. And then you add Boston's inside presence and Smith's versatility. That's not just a team, that's a full-on basketball assault. But here's what really makes this Fever team dangerous. It's not just about individual talent, it's about how they all fit together. Boston and Smith aren't just putting up stats, they're making life easier for Mitchell and Clark. They're setting screens, grabbing rebounds, and creating space. It's like they've unlocked some secret basketball basketball synergy. And let's not forget, the playoffs are a whole different beast. It's not just about talent, it's about depth. You need players who can step up when the pressure's on. That's where Boston and Smith come in. They're not just role players, they're clutch performers waiting to happen. So yeah, Mitchell and Clark are getting all the headlines. But Boston and Smith, they're the X factors. They're the ones who could turn a good playoff run into a great one. The Sun might think they've got the Fever figured out, but they're only seeing half the picture. All right, let's wrap this up. The Fever are coming in hot with Mitchell and Clark lighting up the scoreboard. But defense? That's their weak spot. They've got to step it up if they want to make a real run. Don't forget about Boston and Smith, though. These two are the secret weapons that could turn the tide. With all four firing on all cylinders, the Fever are more than just underdogs. They're a real threat. ESPN might be sleeping on the Fever, but they're about to get a wake-up call. This team isn't just happy to be in the playoffs. They're here to shake things up and make some noise. So, you ready for some playoff action? The Fever are about to show everyone what they're made of. Sunday can't come soon enough. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.